What is what's the early take on I know it's been a few days now. It's kind of not necessarily died down too much, but the early take on the whole Bad Bunny thing. I haven't really heard a lot of backlash from his, there was certain artists that you see come on and people just literally like get on the next day and just be like, "Oh my God, it was horrible, it was terrible." Have you heard or seen anything around that perspective or?
I mean, lots of people, other than folks discussing, the ignorant ones that didn't want him to perform.
Oh yeah.
Um, Most people that I saw really enjoyed the show. There were a few folks that they frustrated me, talking about they might have enjoyed it if they'd have understood the show. And I was like, now y'all sound like the clowns. You sound like the angry racist people from last year talking about they didn't understand Kendrick's show, and it was sometimes like I was just like, what did you need to understand to make the show make sense to you?
It sometimes I think to me, if you just sit down and enjoy the music, enjoy the entertainment for
Right.
it's literally what 12 to 13 minutes, like just like 15 minutes, it's 15 minutes of your life. Just listen, and if you don't quite get it, don't work. Like it ain't the end of the world. Like
Right.
every show ain't for every show ain't for everybody.
Every show ain't
And
for everybody, but I needed people to understand that because don't be wrong, I don't speak Spanish, but I had enough sense to know that while I was watching the show, and by the way, for those people that were all been out to play this week, there's not a TV made today that's not in the house that doesn't have closed caption. So you could have got the translation if you wanted the translation, if it meant that much to you, if the lyrics meant that much to you. But also, the beat was fantastic. I didn't really need to know what he was saying, but also I appreciate symbolism. I got the message.
that was what that's kind of what I told a couple people. I said, art comes in a lot of different forms, and we tend to take the one art that we feel that we all think we relate to in this music, but the symbolism, the storytelling, all of that was part of the show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what actually took Kendrick's show over the top, because
Exactly.
most of the people that listen to hip hop, R&B, or even just Kendrick alone, and from being from West Coast or something, you've heard the music. Everybody knew what was happening. But if you were in this stratosphere of life, you knew what was going on between him and Drake in a sense, or at least you heard about it. But what took his show over the top was the symbolism, and it was the storytelling, and that's what happened.
Yep.
Bad Bunny, he told a good story. It was a really good show. I thought it was.
Yeah, like it
Is
was
it
a
is it
good
a
show.
is it a top three show of all time? No, but who cares? It was a good, entertaining,
It was a
really
good,
good
entertaining
show.
show.
Really
And
good
I
show.
just needed what frustrated me about black people commenting and saying, well, I didn't understand it, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. I need you to just step back for a moment. And just like for us, when we have moments where it's the first black person that's ever done this, or it's the first time this has ever happened for black people in our culture and so forth, representation matters. And as a person, as a black person, another person of color, I need you to be smart enough to know that in that moment, whether you understood what he was saying in Spanish, whether you got the storytelling that he was sending in the message, you needed to celebrate that moment because it mattered to so many people who have been marginalized just like us. So even if you didn't understand what he was saying, you should have understood how everybody was feeling about it.
Yeah,
And to me, that, and like I said, representation matters. And all of my friends, because I have several friends, like, and my thing is I'm like, if you know anybody from New York, you know somebody Puerto Rican more than likely. So what do you mean you didn't get it? You
yeah.
you didn't see how your friends were so excited about that?
A lot of people always, but what happens too is when you hear about an artist doing the show, you start creating. I mean, everybody has a right. Again, it's art, right? So everybody has a
Right.
right to see things and interpret things whatever way they want to hear. When they hear a song, they see a piece of a sculpture or a painting, whatever. But a lot of people get their biases put, like, and it's not biases like you have something against Hispanic or Latino folks. It's more a bias on maybe the artist, the actual artist.
Right.
Like, I don't know his music. I don't know this. Oh, it's going to be in Spanish. So you're already telling yourself you're not going to have a good time. You're not going to, what I'm saying? You're kind of telling
Right.
yourself sometimes, and you talk yourself into a mode of, well, this show has got to impress me now. And instead of just looking at the show,
Just looking
instead
at
of
the
just
show.
listening to the music, appreciating the art, the appreciating the aspect of, and if you really want to understand why his show was as important as any other show we watch, go look at his story.
Right.
Go see how he came up, how he basically is self-made, right? And his distribution, how he pushed his music, you know what I'm saying? And then the ability for him to be able to have people gravitate to him, asking him to be a part of their projects. And right, and then that's typically how it works, where someone is so good that they like, hey, I got to do a track with that guy or that person.
Right.
I'm telling most people be jamming the reggae, right? You gonna tell me you know everything that every single reggae artist is saying? Yeah, right. You can make up. So most of y'all be working. Most of us be making up our own words and songs until we learn the real words.
First of all, to this day, I don't even know what they say in that song Flex. Other than Flex, it's time to have sex. I ain't got nothing.
I'm just saying though, I be laughing at like people like reggae and stuff. You know, now I tell people like DJ, so after you play a song 100,000 times, you do pick up on a few words. But I be cracking up like, you don't know the words of this song. Stop. Just dance. Just dance.
Look, okay. And because that song, what did he start off with? Bang, dang, bang, dang, dang, dang. I don't know what he's saying. I don't know what he's saying. And I've heard that song 1,000 times. I don't know. I feel like it's bang, dang, 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 and I don't know what that means.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh man.
What are we doing, people? What are we doing?
I don't know, but I guess we could talk about the game. So look, shout out to the Patriots for actually scoring some points and not making it look as bad as it was.
Yeah, like
that's the only thing I can say at this. Other than that,
because like last year's Super Bowl, the final score, if you just go back and look at the score, is not going to be indicative of how bad of an ass whooping it actually was.
Yeah, and no, so we can dissect it a couple different ways. I mean, everybody's had their time to dissect it, and everybody always is landing with the whole aspect of the defense dominating and the offensive line on that left side. Me and Jason had a couple of good conversations about it when I was driving up to the conference, and I mean, so let's go back to what we talked about, right? Because I mean, we're not dummies in knowing sports in a sense. I think your concern was, I believe in the defense. I just want to make sure Sam Darnold does some version of what he's been and not be the person that gives the game away. And I was always, and I think I was like, I think I said it. I don't know how good the Patriots are, right? Because I just don't think they've been battle tested. I think they've gotten lucky situations. It's not their fault. And I said it's not their fault. Nobody's not going to show up. Oh, well, you know what? We made it to the Super Bowl, but because of everything that's happened, we'll just let the Bills go this time. No, that's not how it works. And then people want to try to throw the shoulder in and all of that. I'm like, look, at the end of the day, football is not complicated if you really, really want to think about it. If you don't have good linemen and you can't protect and you can't open holes, the quarterback and that defense, the offense, they're going to have a long day. And he's not good enough or experienced enough. Let me not say good, because I don't know how good Drake Maye is, because I actually didn't get caught up in the stats. I'm going to bring up another point earlier I saw on if you re-rank the quarterbacks of that draft. People was, of course, wanting to put Drake Maye at the top. I wouldn't, but we can talk about that later. But the bottom line is, Josh McDaniels had a responsibility. And Josh McDaniels has enough experience. He, in my opinion, called an arrogant game plan. That game plan was very arrogant. I'm going to drop my quarterback in 5-step drops against that defense, knowing you have a deficiency on the left side of that offensive line. That's arrogant. That's arrogant. That's really, really arrogant.
I'm not going to roll any help over there. I'm not doing any of the
I'm not
things.
going to bootleg away from it. I'm not going to do any type
None
of
of that.
screen action. I'm not going to put Stephon Diggs in motion. I'm not going to use Travion Henderson, who's probably the fastest player on the field. Like, what? I was like, it was so arrogant. He's that good. My line can hold. We're going to call the plays we call. No.
And that was the thing.
I was like, what is happening right now? There's no adjustments.
To me, it wasn't. It was the, I don't know if it was the inability to make adjustments or the unwillingness to make adjustments.
Either way.
You go into the game with a plan.
It's probably unwillingness. It's probably more unwillingness because he's got ability.
And everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Exactly. Yeah, one of the greatest.
But after you got punched
ever in
in the mouth
history.
like 4 times, I needed you to be like, hey, because who was it? I think it was after the 3rd series in one of the group texts I'm in. The guy shot a thing and he was like, number 58 just needs to leave the field. Talking about the O-lineman. He was like, number 58 needs to leave the field. And I replied back to him. I was like, yeah, he's a problem and not in a good way. Like what are we doing?
Yeah.
And so, but also, I also feel like they felt like if they kept the game close, which we had said, if the game stays close, that plays into the favor of the Patriots.
Yeah.
To pull it out in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
And so I also felt like they were like, almost like they'd done the whole playoffs, because Drake Maye hadn't been good throughout the playoffs at all. Really, is that, we're going to play around him. We're going to let defense hold, and then he'll make a play or 2 in the game, and it'll be okay. Like, I felt like that was the plan they came into the Super Bowl with. And when they realized that, and for the first 3 quarters, the plan was working because they were field goaling us to death. Because also Sam Darnold, he didn't even do like a good Trent Dilfer version, really.
What?
He was, but he didn't make that big mistake. He didn't turn the ball over. So their plan was working, and they were just like, we're gonna keep relying on defense. And then the dam broke, and nobody had a plan because they were like, we're relying on the defense, but at the same time, y'all aren't scoring any points. Like, at the very least, you got to match them field goal for field goal.
Well, but I think to your point, so let's go back. Like, again, you can play that game, but you can't. If that was your game plan, then you went into the game knowing you were going to lose unless something drastic happened. Right. And what I'm saying is, I actually will give Sam Darnold a lot more credit because he was trying to be aggressive. The Patriots defense, I'll tell you what, the one part of the Patriots defense, I will tell you, their front 4 is pretty good. And they were getting a lot of pressure on Sam Darnold. The difference was when there was actually a play to be made,
he made it.
Kenneth Walker made it, and he made it. That was the other thing. They used their running back. They used the running back to take the pressure off of Sam Darnold once they saw how the game was going to go. But make no mistake about it, early on, Sam Darnold was like almost out there like truly like if somebody made a reference to Brett Favre. He was almost out there like, look, I'm going to let it hang out. Let's see what happens. And there were a couple of plays, if not from Gonzalez, it could have been worse.
For sure.
It could have been 2 touchdowns early in that game.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Their corner Gonzalez
was balling. I mean, he saved their butt.
Because I like every time I was looking, because again we was also in it for some parlays, and then and here he go. I was like, ugh. And they were like, and I was like, no, I mean, I'm not mad. It's good D. I said, but I'm mad because I needed that touchdown.
You needed that touchdown, right? And so back to the football aspect of it is like I'm looking at the game and I'm saying you went into that. It's just hard for me. It's just hard for me to think that a person that we have given a lot of praise to over the years, and it kind of gets back to the whole conversation of was it Belichick, was it Brady, blah blah blah. But we've given Josh McDaniels a lot of credit for being an OC, not a coach, but an OC that could figure things out. And you mean to tell me that you guys were smoking mirrors the entire playoffs for real? Like it really was smoking mirrors because you saw him against the Texans. I can make an argument that the Texans' front seven is just as ferocious as Seattle's, if not better. Yeah. I mean, I think Seattle's collective defense, when you add the secondary,
is better than
it's better, Texans. Right? And
but that front seven,
right? Yeah. And I can make an argument with the Broncos. I don't think their front four is as good as the Texans and Seahawks, but their backside is. So, like, there's different pieces of the. But Seattle has a complete. And again, like somebody said, if they're not playing the Rams, good luck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you really went into this game not like at least put yourself in a situation where you get your playmakers the actual ball. Like, I get that Travion Henderson, and I'm gonna go back to that. When have you ever seen a situation where a team is struggling offensively and not try to get the ball to the one person they know on the team is the playmaker that can break it and take it to the house? And what I'm saying is, at one point, you just got to say, throw a screen pass to him and see what happens, because we can't do anything else right now. Right. And it just like there was nothing there. Like, how many catches did Hunter Henry have? Like, you didn't even use your guys. I'm just thinking about the fact that when
when it was 9-0, point, I was like, does Josh Allen? No, not Josh Allen.
Yeah, him too.
But Josh McDaniels, I was like, does he remember that Stephon Diggs is on his squad?
I felt like that whole cartoon again with Daffy Duck. Does Daffy Duck remember he can fly? Right. I guess not. Because I'm like, Josh, you gotta be like, what is it? And hold up, let's go back to that, because somebody made a point on that. Me and Jason was talking. Well, Jason, you would think after all these years of Stephon Diggs, all the him and Hine and the thing, and again, I actually been on. I like Stephon Diggs, but the him and the Hine and all the stuff. Remember now, people talk about him with Josh Allen. You tend to forget he was with the Vikings. He was having pretty good seasons with the Vikings back in the day, and he wanted to leave because him and Hine and all this. You would think for 1 second they don't have a Stephon Diggs package. Like what team that has a star receiver don't have a package for that receiver? See, the Patriots purposely, and this is what I told somebody, they purposely bracketed JSN. Sam Darnold early on was like, I'm going to still try to get it to him, which probably wasn't the best thing to do, and he got away with it, but he still said, I'm going to get it to him. But if he would have went to the tight end and Cooper Kupp earlier in the game, it would have gotten worse. And I'm thinking to myself, the Patriots don't have a Stephon Diggs package, and he's supposed to be the best receiver on the team. Like no screenplay, no out route. Nothing.
That was the other
one
thing
catch?
Too, when I was watching the game with Sam Darnold, I was like, sir, you got Cooper Kupp and you got Barner on. No, we're not going to use them for nothing.
Well, I honestly think the Sam Darnold early on wanted to try to establish, because a lot of times they will, if you go back and look at games, if they get JSN going, it makes it easier. But it was clearly obvious after the second possession, they were not going to let JSN win. And I think that's when I think you saw the adjustment. Couple that with the fact that the defense was actually basically was like, oh, I don't even know if the Patriots are going to score tonight. And then I think that's when Sam Darnold and Clint Kubiak was like, okay, you know what? We don't even need, we can start doing the other stuff, because they're trying to stop this guy. They do not want this guy to be the MVP of the game. So we're going to go the other way. Either way, it was 9-0. The game was still in hands, and Josh McDaniels, in my opinion, still didn't make any adjustments to help that kid out. And again, I ain't got nothing against Drake Maye. I just know he ain't that damn good yet. He's good, but he ain't that damn good.
Right.
It takes a Hall of Fame It took a Hall of Fame MVP quarterback to dissect that defense twice. No other quarterback has done that this year.
Right.
Why the hell would I think Drake Maye can do it, especially if you're not giving this boy no help? You ain't rolling nothing on that side. Like, it didn't matter to me. By the way, just a real quick shout out to Matt Stafford. on this nonsense on these people talking about Drake May was the MVP. Are you freaking kidding me? This man had. I went back and looked at the stats. He had 46 touchdowns. How did I miss that? 46 touchdowns this year
and 8 interceptions
and 8 picks and 4,700 yards.
Yeah.
Who the hell? I don't give a damn what Drake. 46 and 8.
Yeah. I don't know. Because everybody could talk about Drake May to win MVP. And I was like, and I kept going, how? Have y'all seen the numbers?
Ain't no way in hell. 46 and 8. Holy crap. I did not knew he threw. I didn't know he threw over 40 touchdowns. I guess I wasn't 46 touchdowns. Okay, anyway, back to the game. I mean, the Seattle defense, look, give Mike McDaniels some credit. Because somebody was like, yeah, they would have did this, maybe. And somebody was like, the way those guys was playing, I think they had an answer for everything. And probably did.
Mean Mike McDonald?
Mike McDonald, yeah. Mike McDonald. Yeah, not McDaniel. No, go ahead. Yeah, Mike McDonald. Much props to him. Like, I love it when you see teams, when you see a side of a ball, like especially defense. Like, football is not hard when you got good linemen, good people, whatever, playmakers, good quarterback to that point. But when you see a defense on a string like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is just gorgeous to watch. It's just gorgeous football. People like, oh, ugly defensive game. I'm like, man, that's gorgeous. I was like, I said the way they was playing football, it makes you want to play for that. Like, I want to be on that team. I can't do nothing, but I want to be on the team, Lenise. Put me on the defense. I'll bite some kneecaps like that.
That's what I had to tell somebody, because one of my coworkers, she was like, the game was so boring. No. And I said, oh yeah. No. I said this game was not for the casual football fan. And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, you have to actually like and love football to have appreciated that Super Bowl.
Man.
I said, because the first 3 quarters were a defensive clinic on both sides of the ball. Because shout out to the Patriots defense. It wasn't like they weren't having an impact on the offense of the Seahawks.
They played well enough that for any other team that would have any kind of, that could have put any more pressure on the other team's defense and score some points. They played well enough to win the game. They played well.
So their defense was solid. And so I was like, it was a defensive clinic. Yes, one defense was better than the other. I said, but both defenses put on for the city in the Super Bowl. I said, I thoroughly enjoyed the game because but I'm a fan of football. I said, you watch football every now and again casually and tune in with your husband sometimes. That game wasn't for you. That game wasn't for you. Because half the stuff that was happening, you probably didn't even understand why it was a good thing that it had happened that way.
Like I said, the game, it just felt arrogant. Like I said, I just go back. Josh McDaniels, because they ask the questions like, who do you blame? Drake May, the offensive line, or Josh McDaniels? In a lot of cases, at this point in time in the season, the coach knows what he's got. And if you were trying to prove a point to try to prove Drake May was like we're gonna prove that Russell Wilson is the best player on the team and not Marshawn Lynch, because we don't want Marshawn Lynch to win MVP. If you were trying to prove a point that Drake May was better than what, that wasn't the game to do it. that wasn't the game. I don't know what it was, but to your point, maybe they were trying to hide him or whatever. But that's why I made the comment, make up your mind. If he's a legitimate MVP and he's this up and coming star, which again, I don't see where, if I say as a person of opinion, of my opinion, I don't think he's even as much as good as we think he is. But can he be? Yes. But then I'm hating, right? Because I don't want to jump on the fact that he had an easy schedule. He played in the AFC least and he hasn't looked good this playoff. And then we have the Super Bowl happen and everybody wants to go, well, they should have took some pressure off of him. They should have ran the ball more and all this. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. If you're not. I personally think that is a true statement, but not for the reasons that you're saying it. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying in general. You're saying it, sir, because you're saying it relative to the fact that, now he's a young quarterback. Now he's inexperienced. I'm saying it because I was trying to save the boy's life. I was watching the game saying this poor boy ain't gonna make it to the third season because he's out here getting killed.
Well, and that's the thing too. I don't know why they didn't realize they needed help.
Poor kid.
I don't know why they didn't realize they needed help on that side, the left side of the line before the Super Bowl, because prior to the Super Bowl, in the playoffs, he had already been sacked 15 times.
And they put that stat out there like it has been happening.
Right. So
why you think his shoulder sore?
Right. Oh, well, actually, he didn't get hurt on the sack. He got hurt.
I'm just saying, but my point is, this poor kid probably had a lot of other stuff that was hurting that we ain't know about. Because he been getting knocked around.
Sir, you have been sacked 15 times. And nobody thought, you know what? We need to do something on the left side of this line. I need a tight end chipping over here, a running back, something.
Because there's a couple ways you handle that, right? You line up tight ends to chip,
yeah,
and you still go with the short passing game off of that. That's number one. Number two, which I think was Collinsworth was trying to say, spread them out, go 5 wide, or even take your tight end and spread them out so you can see where the holes are. And the thing was, this is what I did see, and people like, we get on here and we talk and we get emotional, and me and you go back and forth and everything. I'm gonna give you some football. Here's where I know Drake Maye wasn't ready. There is 3 or 4 obvious plays where he got hit or sacked. He missed the hot route.
Yeah.
And it's clear. There was one play they showed on Pat McAfee, and they showed how the lineman got confused on who to pick up. But at the same time, the guy said it shouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
The tight end was a hot route, and he literally turned around and was standing like this, and the ball didn't come out.
Right.
And that happened a couple of times. So it's a combination of everything, right? It's the dominant defense. It's the scheme, right? You got linemen that are just not good. I mean, let's just call it what it is on the left side. There was no adjustments, and you got an inexperienced quarterback. It was a perfect storm. And that's why I said, to me, it still lands in the lap of Josh McDaniels. Because to your point, you came into the game knowing he's got sacked 15 times. You came into the game knowing your offensive line isn't that good. You came into the game knowing that you got to make sure you emphasize the hot route. He didn't do it. Obviously, it didn't happen, or they didn't execute it. But to me, that's why I said, going back last, I said it felt arrogant. It felt like, or like you said, maybe he just really didn't coach it that well. Maybe he just really had a snafu. Maybe he just really had a bad day, Josh McDaniels.
And he might have had a bad day.
He might have just had a bad day.
There is, I will say, there's plenty of blame to go around. But I'm inclined to put the bulk of it, like you said, at Josh McDaniels' feet. Just because you haven't made any adjustments. Whereas even if you waited until halftime to make adjustments, really the only adjustment that was made for them at halftime, and it didn't really start happening until the end of the third quarter, is that I feel like Drake just decided he was going to start running for his life. And so he made some plays with his legs. Whereas the Seahawks came out of halftime and had completely changed what they were doing.
The focus went away from the primary, and he started, even if it was intentional, instead of the first read, he was going second, third. Like, you could see it. You can
all
see
of a sudden, he was like, okay, I know JSN is over here, but today ain't your day, and we've accepted that.
And he got hurt, and he got knocked around, so that probably helped too, because honestly, I told somebody, I said, JSN
he was out for almost a quarter.
I said JSN actually getting taken out the game made it real clear, and I think it made it a lot more clearer for Sam and Clint to go, yeah, I don't even know that they know what to do now, because the one guy that they was concentrating on, the Patriot way, take away your right hand so you throw it with your left kind of thing. Right. Now you got Cooper Kupp and AJ Barnard here balling. You know what I'm saying? And that was the other thing. But real quick on the point with the Patriots, you know what happened but it was forced on them because they got behind. They went up tempo. They had to start going hurry up, and it actually helped them.
That's true too.
Because when you have a team that blitz like that, if they don't get home and then you run a quick play, they got to do the same thing. They got to reset and then get back. And it actually worked. Like they always say, if you want to wear the pass rush down, and you have the ability to play up tempo,
go no huddle.
You go no huddle, and that's kind of what they did. But they did it because they had to, and it started working. So somebody was like, "Damn, if they would have figured that out earlier, maybe you get a slightly different result. Maybe, maybe they score earlier in a couple of recessions." But like I said, on that one play, the D-back, you can go back and watch it. They lined up, did the hurry up. And the D-back was still pointing around, and then he looked up, and they started running the play, and Matt Hollins just ran straight down the field. He was chasing them, and it was a 50-50 ball. Yeah, so, but anyway, yeah. Shout out to Drake Maye for at least living and surviving. I appreciate you for, I do think he's going to be okay. I think he's a good quarterback. I do think he's going to, be, when they say a star, but this is what I told, just like I said about like Shedeur Sanders, somebody brought up when he did made the all-star team, whatever, all-pro team, whatever. I said Drake Maye had a season. I said it was a good season. I said, do you really, really think in that conference he's going to be in the top 3 in the MVP voting next year? So let's just pump our brakes and stop putting this pressure on this kid. And then they're gonna have to play a first place schedule next year. Come on now, and I know that's arbitrary to what we think teams are gonna be and what happens, but you're not going to get, teams that are not. You're just not gonna get the same. And they're gonna have what you say, Lenise, and they're gonna have tape on you.
Huh?
And they're going to have tape on you. That's your thing.
They're going to have tape on you, but also they're going to have tape on you, but now you've got a huge target on your back because you were in the Super Bowl. So everybody, even though you didn't win it, everybody in the AFC that plays you realizes that they got to go through you to get to the Super Bowl.
And they're not going to take you lightly. They shouldn't have anyway with Mike Vrabel coaching, the Patriots mystique and all that, Patriots legacy, whatever. But to your point, everything now shifts. The entire focus of who you are and what you've been. Same thing with the Broncos. I know you landed in a bad spot with a backup quarterback, but between those two teams, it was like, wait a minute, hold up. Hey, we ain't gonna sleep on these teams. We gotta bring every single A game, every plan. Our game plans have to be crisp. We can't mess around with these teams. We gotta go out there and beat them. And I said both of those teams are gonna have to really show me, because you had an opportunity. Because just like we talk about Josh Allen having an opportunity to win the Super Bowl, it was the same thing for the Bo Nixes and the Drake Mays and the CJ Strouds of the world too. Like, you had a chance to sneak one in. You had a chance to sneak one in. You said, Lenise, you know what I'm talking about? Like, you had a chance to sneak one in there. because I don't think Lamar.
And that's my thing. Like, nobody wanted to capitalize.
Nobody capitalized. Hey, look, Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson have their time, but next year would be one of those years where both of them are healthy for 17 games. You know what I'm saying? And then
you're looking at, because Patrick Mahomes got injured late in the season, so we don't know if he's going to be ready.
He's going to be the one. He's the one question mark about, those top tier quarterbacks coming back. But make no mistake about it, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going anywhere. Trevor Lawrence was balling out, and he's going to be right there. So you had one chance, Drake, to sneak it in anyway. But they were talking about, they were saying some things about, if you redrafted now, knowing what you know of that class, would you Caleb Williams was the top, then it was Jaden Daniels, and then I think the third quarterback was taken. Who was the third quarterback taken? But it was looking at Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Drake Maye, JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix. And there was another one. What was the other quarterback in that draft? Who was the other quarterback in that? Oh, Bo Nix. Bo Nix.
Bo Nix, yeah.
So they said right now, how would you take what would be your top? How would you rate the top 6 of those quarterbacks as far as like if you had to redraft them? I said, well, the bottom number 6 is easy, JJ McCarthy.
Because he was taking what, third?
I think he was taking third. I'm gonna pull it up real quick, but
I think he was because it was.
I can't remember.
Caleb, it was Jaden, and I think McCarthy was third.
Yeah, was it 20? Oh, it was a 2024 draft. Yeah, it was only a couple years ago. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I was like, it's 2024.
Yeah, so you had let's look at this. As my trusty internet works. So right at the top, it was Caleb, Jaden, and Drake May. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay, Drake May.
And then Marvin Harrison Jr. Joe Alt, lineman, Malik Neighbors. So I'm getting to the next quarterback. Bo Nix was McCarthy was taken. No, Penix was 8. McCarthy was 10. Bo Nix was 12.
Okay.
So if you put it in order, it was Caleb, Jaden, Drake, Penix, JJ, and Bo Nix. Bo Nix was actually the last pick of the 6. I mean, the latest pick of the 6. So I personally still I'm putting Caleb still up on number 1. I
don't. Drake May making it to the Super Bowl doesn't change how I would draft them, because people like to take for granted. It matters the team that you land on.
It matters the team. It matters what's put in front of you. Now, like I said, and it matters to me which quarterback has the skill set. Okay, let me say it like this. Drake May has enough skill and athleticism and ability to be a star in the league.
Yeah.
But I think just like this year, he still got to have a balanced attack. Like we saw it. The defense helped him a lot.
Right.
Caleb Williams did get short fields, but make no mistake about it. Going into every single game, everybody knew who the star of the team was and knew if he played well, they had a chance to win. That was Caleb Williams. Yeah. Drake May did not have to play well every game for them to win. We just saw it. We just saw 3 games in the playoffs. So what I'm saying is, I'm going to take the guy for now. Still might be a little bit of a wild card. He's still, like I always say, comfortable in chaos. Comfortable in chaos. But I will take that guy. I always tell people, to me, I think you can slow a person down, then you can speed them up. And what I'm getting to is, Caleb Williams has got every single tool in the toolbox. Yeah. I didn't think that when he first got drafted. I thought it was a little bit. I was like, but seeing what he did last year, the ability to throws he can make, the clutch play,
which leads us to, again, it matters on what team you land on and the coaching staff they have around you.
Yeah.
Because at the end of last season, we weren't having this conversation about Caleb.
Absolutely not. And we were scared for him. We were literally scared for him.
Nervous.
Scared for him. And then they got Ben Johnson. And they gave Ben Johnson a little bit of the keys, and they said, "Go do what you got to do. Hey, help me draft some people to help him out." And they're still quiet, and they're still not. And again, of all the teams that overachieve with the quarterbacks that they have, you can make an argument. The Patriots,
the Bears definitely overachieved.
Somewhat overachieved, but we kind of was like, Vrabel probably gonna get them boys right. They spent $200 million in free agency to bring all these players in. You knew Sean Payton had a couple of years with Bo, so they could be okay. There is no doubt in my mind that the Bears overachieved, because there was no talks about them winning that division or even getting into the second round, any first or second round of the playoffs. So
they definitely overachieved.
I think Caleb, and that was telling. I think Caleb.
I was telling a friend of mine, he's a Bears fan, and I went and hung out with him and his crew to watch the playoff game for the Rams and the Bears. And so when it was over, he was, of course, upset. But I was like, look, here's the bright side. And he was like, there's a bright side? I said, absolutely. I said, y'all are about 2 years ahead of schedule, sir. I said, because at the beginning of the season, did you think you were going to be here? And he was like, You're right. Nope, I didn't. I said
No.
right. I said you were talking about buying a ticket. You were talking about catching a flight to Seattle.
Yeah.
To watch the NFC Championship game, and that's where your headspace was.
Yeah.
So so please know you've got something to look forward to, and so I feel good about the Bears. I was like, y'all definitely overachieved this year. Y'all are about 2 years ahead of schedule. But on the bright side, if you fill in a few more pieces that are missing, you can stay on track.
And in my opinion, the only piece they really need, like if there was a premium on what you gotta have to get them to the next level, they just gotta find a pass rusher. Because the secondary has proven that if you get the quarterback off schedule, we're going to take the ball away. And they have a underrated, well, maybe not underrated, but their running attack is unbelievable. They had a two-headed monster. Caleb can run. And the receivers, they're not a bit, but based on the way that offense works, the tight ends are the stars. So, you know what I'm saying? The tight ends are the stars. Komet and Loveland. And Loveland was balling the last 6-7 weeks of the season. Huh?
Loveland was a rookie, right?
Yeah. And Komet's only like in his third year. That's why when they drafted Loveland, it was like, you just got Komet. It was like, but the way they're running 12 personnel. If they're running 12 personnel and they're running the ball out of that, and they're doing exactly what the Rams got away with most of the season. They're doing 12 personnel where I can put two tight ends on the field that can both block and catch. I got a two-headed monster in my running back, and then every now and then you forget about this guy named DJ Moore who I can sneak behind the secondary and catch touchdown, which is exactly what happens. You run the ball, play action, DJ Moore. We saw it twice in the playoffs. It's like, damn. DJ Moore is on the field. Like, you forget he's on the field until he catches a touchdown. So it's kind of like, I think they're in a prime position. And to your point, from a team standpoint, I'm still taking Caleb. If I had to go with the number 2, I might still take Jaden, even though he got nicked up. But I'm just thinking about the talent and the ability. But
I need Jaden to make better decisions.
That's kind of what I'm getting to, because I'm thinking about it in a vacuum, not in the reality of what just happened. Because if you think about it, what just happened, then I can see why people would take Caleb and or Drake May 1 and then go with Bo Nix and or 2, right? But I'm thinking about it from the standpoint of knowing what I've seen, the ups and the downs, knowing what I've seen, I still might go Caleb and Jaden.
Yeah, and I don't, like I said, because I still like.
I might draft it the exact same way it is: Caden, Jaden, and Drake. I go Drake 3. That's just me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't, and I like Jaden Daniels, but I even said it his rookie year, and he just got lucky. I was like, guys, he's got to learn to slide.
He's got to get down. He's got to get down.
He's got to get down. You have got to learn to live to play another down. Because your best ability is availability.
Yeah. And I think we can all now Bo Nix, I know you're not really big on Bo Nix. I will say this about Bo Nix. He's got very similar abilities, but he's also got something that I think Caleb has. He's got a coach that kind of knows what he's doing with quarterbacks. So I could almost make an argument I would take Bo at 3, but to your point, to me, after the first 2, it's just kind of arbitrary. I think Michael Penix and JJ are at the back, and I think Michael Penix Jr. has the same abilities that some of these other guys have. We'll see. But
I feel like Michael Penix Jr., his thing is health too.
Yeah.
But the thing about him is that he had that on him before he ever got into the league.
And that's a good point.
Like, because now people are like, oh my God, he can't stay healthy. I said, but you knew that coming into this.
Yep.
You can't be surprised now. That was the big red flag for him going into the draft. He had consistently been hurt throughout his college career.
Jaden Daniels, to your point, he's doing stuff that he can avoid.
Yes.
It seems like Michael Penix just gets hit in a natural sense. And then something something gets loose. Something's loose.
And that wasn't like he
just gets tackled and it's like, oh, something is not right. Jaden Daniels, if he got out of bounds 9 out of the 10 runs that he do, he probably would have played the whole season, or could have had an opportunity to play the whole season.
Right.
So, and he's only as big as his wire. He's only as big as his wire. Look, and Jaden Daniels is only as big as his wire right here. So
yeah, I mean, as my dad kid said when they were little and couldn't pronounce it, Penix is just fragile. they couldn't get fragile together.
You know what? I ain't doing. No, we not. No, I'm not.
They couldn't get fragile together, but he's fragile.
Oh man! But shout out to the Seahawks, man. I was like, and PJ, he cracks me up as the only Seahawks friend that I have that you know. Shout out to the Seahawks. I'm like, you are not the only person in the world. Okay, stop.
Right.
I know other Seahawks fans. Stop it.
Yeah, like I'm the only Seahawks. Yeah, because he definitely posted that on the timeline.
I was
like, the only person you know that's a Seahawks fan. Okay.
No, there was a handful of people that. Well, and it's I will say this, and this is fair, right? Because we can make this statement. I mean, yeah, you're right. I like the Seahawks this year probably didn't get enough pub. They probably didn't. And I think one of the reasons they didn't get enough pub is because everybody was waiting for Sam Darnold to turn into a pumpkin.
Yep.
I mean, and I think if we want to talk about his story, like they talk about redemption and everything, and I had to actually go look the word up redemption because I wanted to make sure I felt like it was being used the right way, because I know sometimes I'll say things and I have to fact check it and I'll post it on the show and I'll do little things. But the point for Sam Darnold to me is, and we've made this point and we'll make it again, I'm happy for the dude. I don't want people to not. I want to see good, entertaining sports, entertaining football. If my team happens to win, great. Like, I'll be ecstatic. Your team has won a couple times in the last X amount of years. You know, it is what it is, right? But guys, he wasn't good early. That ain't redemption. Now you want to say redemption for himself? There's two sides to this coin here. What I'm saying as far as redemption.
But I guess they're calling it redemption because of the journey that he took from the Jets to the Panthers, and then playing backup behind the 49ers.
I got that, but that's what I'm saying. But I'm splitting the hair. I'm looking at both sides. The head side of the coin is early on you didn't play well, regardless of your situation. I get it. You were with the Jets. Everybody seems to stink, right? They have that stink on them. Right, and then you carry that stink to the Carolina Panthers, who wasn't good at the time either. So, but you still didn't play well, and then maybe you were still in a bad spot. But then the other side of it is, you did get drafted high, and then you wind up having to play backup. But guess what? Guess what happens playing backup? What San Francisco did for you? You started to learn under good coaching and with a decent team. And then you get to the Vikings.
One more time for the people in the back, coaching matters.
Right. Then you get to the Vikings, say it again. Coaching matters. Everybody know Kevin O'Connell can coach. Like, he's proven that. And given a chance, he's probably going to win one of these. You never know. But the bottom line is, he put you in a position to win. Now let's talk about redemption on the side of the other people. They, to me, is the redemption. Because the Vikings should have kept you. And the worst thing the Vikings could have did was, we just going to franchise you just 1 year. Just to see if you can do it again. With you, that's the redemption I would give you on that side, the other side of the coin. They did say, we're going to go with JJ. We're going to go with the rookie that's hurt. And that's why I'm like, this is a good story.
Honestly, I feel like Minnesota got hung up on the what have you done for me lately. And the very last footage they had of Sam Darnold that stuck in their mind were the last 2 games that he played where he was god-awful.
Yeah.
But you got to be able to big picture it. And they did a poor job of big picturing it.
Yeah.
Because my thing is even if the rookie comes back and because granted, he was supposed to be the starter until he got hurt. Understood. And that's how Sam Darnold became the starter. Understood. But you got to be able to big picture it and be like, you know what? He got hurt last year. Might get hurt again. And we don't have a valid backup. Or maybe we just let Sam Darnold play and let the rookie sit beside him. Because some of the reason JJ McCarthy got hurt is because, sir, you making poor decisions. Poor decisions.
It's never a clear path on what you should and shouldn't do. But to your point, the last 2 games were bad, but they weren't bad enough that you let this man go. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
You can, especially
they went, 14-2,
especially 14-3, especially when you have the franchise tag option that you don't have to use on another player. All your other key players, you signed them, including this one guy named Justin Jefferson that really loved Sam Darnold because he had a really good season with Sam Darnold, and give Justin Jefferson credit. Shout out to Justin Jefferson because he says the right things. You know what? We went with the quarterback. I'm gonna support, but he also said things might have been different if we kept Sam.
Yep.
And he was looking at it from the big picture. So you don't, again, hindsight is 20/20. We can talk about it now, but I just was like, at the time, I was just like, franchise the dude, just franchise him. And everybody thinks every star quarterback has to play because you draft them in a certain position. Why? Arguably the best quarterback that we're saying in the moment of time right now sat his first season, Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers sat what, 4 years? 5 years? Jordan Love had to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. And I'm not saying Jordan Love was elite, but I'm just saying, like, you don't have to play right now. Shout out to Sam. You know, appreciate you, Sam, for giving everybody hope. all of the quarterbacks out there that suck right now, just look at Sam Darnold. All of you quarterbacks, let's see who's sucking right now. All of the redemption stories. Kyler Murray, you have a chance. Kyler Murray, you have a chance. I don't know, Gino. I don't know if you have a chance because you done had a couple of chances here. So, but we're gonna still give you a shot, Gino, because Sam had to go on 5 teams. So, Gino, you got a shot. Russell, you can go sit down. You're done. He still want to play. Russell, you go sit down. Go sit down somewhere.
Not gonna sit down somewhere.
Yeah, go sit down somewhere. Go sit down somewhere. Who else out there's got a shot? Tua Tagovailoa.
Where is he going?
I don't know, but he's got to get out of Miami. We trying to pay people to take him. That's how bad we want him gone. We trying to actually pay part of the salary to get that dude out. You got to go. Who out there is in position to have a redemption story? Hold up. Who else? Who out there getting thrown around? Piece back. I'm trying to think. Some quarterbacks. Who out there? Kirk Cousins. He got a chance. Old man Kirk.
If Atlanta's smart, they will keep Kirk Cousins right there.
They trying to get him out of there. I think they tried to cut him. I think they might have already cut him. I think.
Well, no, they restructured his deal.
Oh, they restructured his deal. But Kirk, you got a chance, Kirk. Kirk, you got a chance.
Signaled that they were probably going to release him, so he could be a free agent.
Yeah,
because they had him restructure his deal.
Come on, Kirk.
If you know, like I know, Atlanta need to be like, we've restructured your deal. But come on back.
Jameis Winston, you got a chance. Come on, Jameis. Come on, famous Jameis.
Jameis Winston is a national treasure. He is a national treasure.
If Sam Darnold can start with the Jets, go with the Panthers, and land in the city of Seattle, the furthest city away from everybody, and win a Super Bowl, Jameis got a chance. You just got to find the right spot, Jameis. Anyway. Oh, man. Shoot, boy. But what was the other thing? You see the shenanigans real quick about Mike Tomlin?
Oh, where Ben Roethlisberger and
James Harrison. What? Am I missing something? Like, what the hell happened?
Well, now, James Harrison has been on Mike Tomlin for a minute. Because whatever, I don't know. He don't like him for whatever reason.
Must have pissed in his Cheerios or something one time or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, what happened?
Because I think like 6-7 years ago, he was talking about Mike Tomlin is not a Hall of Fame coach. He's not this. He's not. Sir, sat down.
Did he take his girlfriend away from him? Like, is Mike Tomlin, like, what it was?
I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe he told James he couldn't date his daughter. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, but he don't like him, and I didn't actually hear what Ben Roethlisberger
and
said.
I was about to say Ben Roethlisberger shouldn't even hint or be even play with that. He should know better. Should know better.
I don't know what he said, But I do know that Joey Porter Jr. laid
Yeah, I
both
saw
of them
that.
out.
That's why I brought it up, because I saw Joey Porter out there, and then
Not
RC
junior, senior. Joey
senior,
Porter
yeah,
senior.
and then RC brought up saying we might have to have a former players meeting.
Only.
Yeah,
He
only
was like, do we
yeah.
need to have a former Steelers players only meeting? He said, we
Right,
out
he
here
was
looking
just
like
like,
the
what the
Cowboys.
hell, bro? And it was like, yeah, people can have relationships, they can have their opinion. You can have them, they're stupid. You can have whatever opinion you want. I don't care what it is. That's disrespectful. It's stupid. Like, I don't like a lot of people in this world, but I respect the people I respect. I don't say anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like how. I guess my thing is, like, we've all had managers, and got managers now, whatever, right? And there's a lot of managers I've worked for where I didn't always agree, or I didn't like everything that was going on, but I also recognize the fact that they hired me. And I actually got checks along the way to pay for things that I like food and stuff. Yeah, I can be my own boss, and I am with my DJ business and stuff. But why would I talk trash about the person that I actually went to them to ask them to hire me? They hired me, and now I'm mad about the fact that they helped me be what I am. That's really, like, if you don't like a person, you ain't got to say nothing. Like, don't say like. But obviously, he's not. Obviously, James Harrison is really, really something is there that I think at one point needs to be kind of thought, like, what are we doing? Ben Roethlisberger, I think, said some stuff that was kind of controversial that made it seem like he was bringing Tomlin down a level from other coaches, which I think is disrespectful as well, because he's the only coach in the history of the game that's ever had a winning season every season he's coached. So, like, what are we talking about, guys? And he won you Super Bowls, and he got you paid. And Ben Roethlisberger, he kept you around when he should have got rid of your ass the last 2 or 3 seasons. Like, right. Come on, man. Like, it's just disrespectful. I mean, Mike Tomlin is a national treasure to the football world.
He absolutely is.
Cavs need to strip.
And the thing is like, because he's such a steward for the game, like, when people take these shots and stuff at him, he just ignores it. He just moves on. None of those things. But I'm like, y'all about to learn. Pittsburgh, former players, current fans, all of the things. Y'all about to learn. Okay? I
was about to say that's a dangerous. That's like, dangerous.
I can show you better than I can tell you.
That's dangerous. Like, that's just dangerous waters. Like, James Harrison.
And life without Mike Tomlin ain't about to be what you think it is. Especially with Mike McCarthy. What are we doing?
It just drives me crazy with these humans. They wait for people to not be around. Like, yeah, Ben Roethlisberger was saying stuff, but not to the level of what James Harrison was saying it. And yes, he's been saying it for years. But honestly, people have been ignoring him for years because it just sounds like a mess. But then now Ben said something, so now it might be something. Most of these former Steelers players are like, y'all is tripping. Y'all done lost your damn mind.
Exactly.
You don't even see. You don't even hear Antonio Brown or Santonio Holmes saying things now. They don't even say anything because they know it's stupid. They ain't got nobody gonna listen to them. Like,
right. And that's why I appreciate Joey Porter Sr. because sometimes you just got to be like, listen, this is dumb. And now I'm going to lay y'all out. And he done called the thing a thing and then talked about how James Harrison and Ben Roethlisberger weren't even good teammates. Like,
and he also said that I was laughing because he said, James Harrison, he said, you want Debo until you was getting coached by Tomlin. He said, Bill Cowher cut you 3 times. He said, Mike Tomlin brought you back.
Yeah.
And got you paid.
Right.
And
listen, cause sometimes when you know where the bodies are buried, you might not want to say nothing.
It's just crazy, bro.
But here's how you know what Porter said was true. Ain't nobody had nothing to say after that. James ain't said nothing. Ben has gone quiet. Everybody up now is like, what? Huh? I ain't had nothing to say bad about my time.
Yeah, it's just disrespectful. Like, there's just certain things. Just leave it alone. Move on. Like, what are we doing, bro?
Yeah.
What are we doing? I appreciate you. I gotta go. All right. Take care. I'll talk to you later.